Donovan Mitchell is on the move. The Jazz's three-time NBA All-Star is likely to be traded. This according to reports from Adrian Wojnarowski that say that the Utah Jazz are now willing to listen to offers for Donovan Mitchell. This is a big change in their views and their mannerisms from just a few weeks ago when they shut down these talks completely. They shut down any talk that they were trying to get rid of Donovan Mitchell, any talk that he was on the move. He was supposed to be part of the plan. Then the Rudy Gobert trade happened. They got, 4 first-round picks from Rudy Gobert and Patrick Beverley and another player. And I think that kind of changed things because now the market is absolutely inflated after you make that deal. Now you know that if you got 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert and you got a few good players back, a few key role players back, imagine what you could get for Donovan Mitchell in theory. So if you don't believe me, listen to what Justin Zanuck said, general manager of the Utah Jazz, said when asked about whether or not Donovan Mitchell could be traded or they would consider trading Donovan Mitchell. He said, and I quote, "Change is inevitable in the NBA," went on to say that, quote, "I'm not trying to be cryptic or anything else, but Donovan is on our roster and he's very, very important. He's a very, very important part of what we're trying to do. Things evolve in the NBA, so I couldn't sit here and say that anyone is untouchable. We're trying to build a championship team, but there you go." So the Utah Jazz are saying that, here's the thing. If there was zero intention to trade Donovan Mitchell, he would have just said, Donovan is here. We're trying to build around him. The fact that they are not, and I know there's going to be a lot of people saying, "Oh, you're reading too much into this. Oh, you're speaking hyperbolically." No. The fact that you have the Jazz's GM coming out here and saying that Donovan Mitchell is not untouchable. This is a guy who just 2 years ago signed a 5-year extension, max extension, to stay on the team. So he's got a bunch of years left on his deal. 3-time All-Star. Superstar in this league. You're not just talking. If there's anyone in the NBA that's untouchable, it's someone like Donovan Mitchell. Especially if you're the Utah Jazz and you don't really got much else going for you now. You trade away Rudy Gobert, who was a great defensive player. Was he great offensively? No, not really, but he's a great defensive player. So that begs the question. Who are some of the teams that could consider trading for Donovan Mitchell? I mean, I know there's the weird scenario that's been thrown out there that this could lead to a Donovan Mitchell for a Kevin Durant trade, which I don't see happening. I don't think that I mean, look, it might work out for both the Jazz. It might work out for the Nets. They'll get some picks, right? Because we know the Jazz have a bunch of picks coming their way from that Rudy Gobert trade. So it might work out for the Nets because then in return they get a few picks and Donovan Mitchell. That's great pieces to build around. But then on the flip side, if you're the Jazz, you got KD. Who else you got? Patrick Beverley? You gonna build around KD and Patrick Beverley? No. So I don't think it makes too much sense for the Jazz to do that. I know a lot of people want to see it. If you think it might be cool for Kevin Durant to be in that jersey, I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's going to happen, honestly, because it doesn't make much sense, honestly, from the Jazz side. But so if you're thinking that, I'm sorry, it ain't happening. Now, here's my thing. There is a team out there that I think could make a run at him. I'm not sure whether or not the Jazz would be willing to do this because he's in the same conference. But Donovan Mitchell, just saying, he would look good playing next to Luka Doncic. He would look good in that blue jersey over there in Dallas. Here's the thing. The question has always been, who is the guy that you put next to Luka Doncic? Who is the guy that you put next to Luka Doncic to build a championship contender in Dallas? I've said for a while on this show that I think by hook or by crook, Donovan Mitchell could be that guy because he's automatic scoring. He will take that pressure off of Luka Doncic. He can go inside. He can shoot from the perimeter. He can do it all. So I think that he would be the perfect fit to take that pressure off of Luka and let Luka play. Let him evolve as a player. Like, he needs that guy with him to allow him to do that, because right now it's just Luka ball. Like, Luka is single-handedly doing everything for that team, and he can't. Or offensively, at least. He can't. It's not sustainable, is what I'm trying to say. So that's a potential piece. You can trade up to, I believe, 4 first-round picks. So Dallas, I know they have that. They have, I believe, Tim Hardaway still on their roster. They're going to have to figure out, like, there would have to be another team in the fray. Like, they would have to be a third team to, I think, make it work. But don't count out the Dallas Mavericks in this. Like, I know it's a long shot, but do not count out the Dallas Mavericks in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes, because they're a team that is desperate enough, and they're a team that feels like they can, I think, make a run at him. Now, the other teams that are allegedly in the chase for Donovan Mitchell are the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. Let me address the Knicks real quickly. Knicks fans have been foaming at the mouth for a potential Donovan Mitchell run at Donovan Mitchell. They have been waiting for this for a while. I think the question is, what would you have to send? You cannot trade RJ Barrett. Although, if it's Donovan Mitchell, you might have to, considering the way they both play. And yeah, you just signed Jalen Brunson too, so that kind of complicates things. So the question is, like, how would you make that all fit? Like, you know, you want to trade Obi Toppin and one of the other, like, 5 power forwards you got, sure, but at the end of the day, you got to give up picks, and you're gonna have to figure out what the hell you're doing with RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson there. You got too many star guards there. Miami Heat, I don't think that. Here's my thing about the Miami Heat. If there's one player that I could see, like, or if there's one, like, team I could see make a run at him and it kind of makes sense, I think it would be the Jazz. I think there could be a package that you could send there that would make sense, more sense, honestly, than a KD trade, because KD trade, I feel like you would have to, a KD trade, I think, would mess with the dynamic of the entire team, to be honest with you, but we'll see. But I think, like, Donovan Mitchell playing alongside Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler would be amazing. Only question is, what are you going to have to give up? Obviously, picks. Obviously, you're going to have to give up Tyler Hero, maybe Duncan Robinson, if they even want him at that point. So, Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes are open, though, folks. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me know where you guys think Donovan Mitchell will end up. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.